What are the SDGs? In 2015, world leaders of 193 member states of the United Nations agreed to 17 global goals, officially known as the Sustainable Development Goals and pronounced SDGs. These goals were carefully identified as having the potential to change the world by 2030 through poverty eradication, fighting inequality, and addressing the urgency of climate change. The 17 goals constitute of 169 targets and 230 indicators. The global goals are ambitious but achievable. It integrates all three aspects of sustainable development, and they are social, economic, and environmental. Goal 4. Quality education. Goal 4's target is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. There are 10 targets in Goal 4. Education enables upward socio-economic mobility and is key to escaping poverty. Early childhood education offers a head start in school, but 1/3 of the world's children are being left behind. Millions of children are still out of school, and not all who do attend are learning. Many students are not prepared to join our highly complex global economy, as disparities in educational opportunities and outcomes persist globally, with sub-Saharan Africa and parts of Central and South Asia lagging behind. In low-income countries, children's school completion rate is 79% in richest 20% households and 34% in poorest 20% households. Remote learning remains out of reach to at least 500 million students. Inequalities in education are getting worse due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While sub-Saharan Africa made the greatest progress in primary school enrollment among all developing regions, disparities still remain. Children from the poorest households are 4 times more likely to be out of school than those of the richest households. Disparities between rural and urban areas also remain high. Currently, of all regions, sub-Saharan Africa has the highest rates of education exclusion. Future landscape. What is the way forward? A recent World Economic Forum article states that although it is too early to judge how reactions to COVID-19 will affect education systems around the world, there are signs suggesting that it could have a lasting impact on the trajectory of learning innovation and digitization. Sub-Saharan Africa faces the biggest challenges in providing schools with basic resources. The situation is extreme at the primary and lower secondary levels, where less than 1/2 of schools in sub-Saharan Africa have access to drinking water, electricity, computers, and the internet. Inequalities will also worsen unless the digital divide, that is the gap between underconnected and highly digitized countries, is not addressed. The learning crisis that is now heightened by COVID-19 threatens an individual or society's ability to escape poverty. It jeopardizes the economic future of entire nations as they struggle to compete in a global marketplace with less than skilled human resources. The next decade provides an important window of opportunity for policymakers to ensure that all children are proficient in basic literacy and numeracy. Education outcomes will only be deferred or delayed, but education inequalities between the poor and the rich are expected to widen. UNC's faculty and research engaging with this goal. Though not directly, the research of Kia Caldwell, Professor, African American and Diaspora Studies, and co-founder and director of the African Diaspora Fellows Program at UNC Chapel Hill, and Emily Chavez, Director of Equity and Justice at Duke School and founding co-director, African Diaspora Fellows Program, supports Target 4.7. Target 4.7 is, by 2030, ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and non-violence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity and of culture's contribution to sustainable development. Their book, Engaging the African Diaspora in K-12 Education, provides in-service and pre-service teachers with valuable information and resources related to African diaspora communities in the United States, Europe, and Latin America. This unique anthology fills an important gap in current pedagogical and curricular publications by combining the writings of leading scholars of the African diaspora with practical, hands-on tips and resources from middle and high school teachers and administrators. In conclusion, the education gap and disparities offer incentives for policymakers to refocus and ensure improvements in their quality of and access to education. Governments must focus on interventions that can enhance inclusive education. Interventions such as school feeding, free school uniforms, and provisional textbooks have been documented as factors to reduce dropout rates, which are expected to increase without redress due to COVID-19. Globalgoals.org sums the importance of education as follows. Education liberates the intellect, unlocks the imagination, and is fundamental for self-respect. It is the key to prosperity and opens a world of opportunities, making it possible for each of us to contribute to a progressive, healthy society. Learning benefits every human being and should be available to all. For the goals to be met, everyone needs to do their part. Academic and research institutions, governments, the private sector, civil society, bilateral and multilateral institutions, the development community, and the general public. To learn more about the SDGs in Africa, please visit www.sdgcafrica.org.